Well, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome. Glad you could join me. My name is Matt Johnson. I'm the Communications Director over here at SFREP, and today we are going to be doing a webinar on Sketch-It. So, in case you don't know, Sketch-It is our free sketching product that comes bundled with the Appraise-It Pro suite. It's a very basic sketching program, but it does get the job done, and it's free, which is always good. Who doesn't love free? And it is quite powerful once you learn how to use it. And that's what we're going to be going over today. So before we get started, a couple of things. First of all, welcome. I'm actually I do these out of Charlotte, but I'm currently in Destin, Florida. So ignore the hotel room behind me. But if you haven't done one of these webinars before, one of the things that you do need to be aware of is when you're watching on a laptop or a desktop, the desktop version of YouTube, there will be a small little bar down at the bottom. If you mouse over it, there will be a set of brackets. If you click on that set of brackets, it's going to make YouTube go full screen. Now that's helpful because you'll be able to see everything a lot better, but it is going to mean that you're not going to have access to the chat. So the chat's usually over here on the right-hand side. You'll lose that if you go full screen. The other thing is going to be an elongated rectangle you'll see down there. If you click on that little elongated rectangle, it's going to make YouTube go not full screen, it'll go into theater mode. So the chat will move from the right-hand side down to the bottom. And I recommend that. It's going to make everything a whole lot easier for you to be able to see. All right. If you have any questions, please get them into the chat. I'll be happy to answer them. What we're going to be doing here is, first of all, we're going to watch a pre-prepared video on Sketch-It. The reason I do this is because it does it in a very nice, succinct way. And it gives you some graphics that were pre-prepared that make it a lot easier for you to understand the concepts that are going on. But I do want you to note any questions you might have. And remember that you can jump back and use the little slider down at the bottom to go back earlier in the video. So if you need to watch that again, you can. And of course, if you have any questions, get them into the chat. But if you're watching this after the fact, you can email me, training@sfrep.com. You can also use that if you're just a little bit shy and you don't want to ask any questions in this training, training@sfrep.com. But do understand, if you need immediate assistance, you're going to want to contact our tech support. Their email address is tech@sfrep.com, or you can call them toll free 7 days a week, 800-644-4051. That's 800-644-4051. So on the back side of this video, which is not long, I think it's 7-8 minutes, maybe 11. I can't remember. But on the back side of the video, I'm going to show you a couple other things that I don't think are shown in the video, and we'll answer any questions you might have, so make sure you get them in, okay? All right, we'll see you on the back side of the video. I can't remember. But on the back side of the video, I'm going to show you a couple other things that I don't think are shown in the video, and we'll answer any questions you might have, so make sure you get them in, okay? All right, we'll see you on the back side of the video. And there are hotkey combinations you can use that are listed next to the text menu selections. When you're ready to begin sketching, click the Page Plus icon on the lower toolbar to create a new sketching area. Think of an area as a floor, outbuilding, basement, or garage. Select the category for the area, in this case, living area, as we want to add to the gross living area. Next, for the area name, we're going to select first floor. Finally, we'll set post 2 as 1. Usually this will correspond with the floor that you're drawing. There's also B for basement and G for garage. This will set which line this area will post to in the square footage calculation addendum of the report. Next, select if this area will add to the total square footage or subtract. Choose the font for the labels and select a fill-in pattern for the area. Under the Dimensions section, there are selections that determine if and when measurement labels will be added to the sketch for both exterior and interior walls. And finally, under Options, there are checkboxes for Print Calculation Detail and Included in Category Summary to show or not show measurement information on the sketch in the report. For this sketch, we're going to draw the outside walls of the first story of a two-story house. Since everything here is already set up to do this, we'll just need to click Create. Notice the cursor has changed to a crosshair. While you can sketch with the mouse, it's much easier and more accurate to sketch with the keyboard. So we'll place the crosshair in the upper left corner of the page and begin sketching from the back left corner of the house. Press Enter to drop the pen. On the keyboard, we'll type out 50 and then hit the right arrow button to draw a 50-foot back wall to our house. Then hit Enter to lock in the line. We'll continue along the right side of the house. Now to the front. And here we have a bay window. For the bay window, we'll come down 5 feet, but we won't hit Enter to lock it in just yet. Instead, we'll now go over 5 feet to create a 45-degree angle. Hit Enter once again to lock it in. Now 10 across. Then we'll reverse the process to complete the window. Once we get to the last corner, we can use the Control-C key combo to auto-close the area. Since the area is a bit off-center, we can either press this icon button up top to center in the page, or we can go to the Layer menu and select Move to click and drag it to the top center, leaving us room to draw a second floor below. To draw our second floor, we'll click on the Page Plus icon up top again to bring up the Add Area dialog. This time, under Area Name, we're going to select Second Floor. Note how this automatically changes the Post To number to 2. Now we'll click Create. Now, just as before, we'll draw the second floor of the house below the first on the same page. Sketch-It allows you to draw precise arcs with just a few keystrokes. We can draw an arc using one of two methods: by entering the chord length, arc height, and the direction, or by entering the arc angle and the direction. Of these two methods, we're going to cover the entering of the chord length and arc height since it's the easiest to measure in the field. To draw our arc, we'll need to know two key measurements. The chord is the straight line between the beginning of the arc and the end. And the arc height is the straight line between the center point of the chord and the peak of the arc. So to draw our curve, we'll first enter the length of the chord, and then the arrow key for the direction in which to draw. Next, we'll press Ctrl B. The Create Arc dialog box will appear. We'll ignore any angle data that may appear in the angle field, but we won't delete the value. Sketch-It will calculate a new angle once we enter the chord length and the arc height. Note that the chord length is the same as what we drew in the beginning. Now we'll enter the arc height and then click OK. The angle will be calculated and appear in the angle field, and the arc height value will default back to 0. Now we'll just click OK again, and Sketch-It will draw the arc. Hit Enter to lock it in. Since interior walls don't really add to or reduce the square footage of a structure, you don't need to create a new area for them. Instead, they are just associated with the area that you have selected up top. We'll use the pull-down to select the first floor. To draw the first floor interior walls, we go to the Create menu and select Lines. We can also use this icon on the toolbar. We now have a drawing crosshair. Just as when drawing exterior walls, there are a few ways you can draw interior walls. You can free draw them by clicking the mouse to drop the pen and move it around, clicking each time you get to a corner, or you can use the arrow keys. The best method, however, is probably once again using the keyboard to type in the measurements you took when inspecting the house. Move your mouse crosshair near a corner of the house and then press J on your keyboard. This will jump the cursor to the exact corner. Now, without dropping your pen, type in the measurement from the corner to where the first wall will begin. In this case, we'll make that 20 feet to the right by typing 20 and then pressing the right arrow. This will move the cursor 20 feet to the right along the back wall of the house. Since the room shares two walls with the outside of the house, we only need to draw the two interior walls. To drop the pen, press the Enter key once, then type in 10, and the down arrow to draw a 10-foot wall down towards the front of the house, and a single enter locks in the corner point. Next, 20 and then the left arrow key will draw a 20-foot wall, and a double enter will set the corner point and pick up the pen. We'll need a door to enter the room, so to add one, go to the Create menu and then select Icons. In the resulting pop-up window, go down the list and select Door. By default, the door will be 2.5 feet wide. Let's change it to 3 feet, then click OK. Now we can move the icon over the interior wall, then click to drop it. We can then select additional icons or just click cancel if we're done. Now we're ready to transfer the sketch. Before we do, let's take a moment to make sure everything is aligned by going to the area menu and selecting Move. Move each area so it's centered with the other. Don't worry about centering both on the page, we'll do that in a second. Once everything looks good, click the Center Sketch button on the toolbar to align the entire sketch into the center of the page. When we're ready to transfer the sketch to Appraise-It Pro, all we need to do is go to the File menu and select Save Sketch. We don't want to change the default file name because if we do, it will break the link between this sketch and this report if we try to edit the sketch in the future. So just click Save again. Now just close Sketch-It. We can view the sketch in Appraise-It Pro by clicking on the Sketch page in the report panel. Information is also transferred into the square footage addendum and into the relevant spots in the main report. If you need to make a change to the sketch at any time in the future, open the report in Appraise-It Pro and then open Sketch-It from the Tools tab. You can then make any changes needed and save the sketch again to transfer the updates to the report. And that's it. If you need help or have any questions, email us at tech@sfrep.com or give our tech support a call 7 days a week at 800-644-4051. Thanks for watching, and as always, thanks for being an SFREP customer. So there are a couple of things that are not covered necessarily in that video. They are covered in a separate video that I do encourage everyone to go look at. And so if you go to YouTube and then at the top at the search box, just type in SFREP ANSI, ANSI. It'll take you right to the video. It's this second one down here. SFREP short, Sketch-It and the new ANSI measurements. And then I've also done using the new ANSI standards in Sketch-It. This is like a 33-minute video that I did about 2 years ago, and it kind of goes over how you actually can deal with doing ANSI measurements. So I definitely encourage you to go out and watch that video. But just a couple of things that aren't necessarily covered that well in the video that I do want to go over, or things that I want to reiterate. First of all, and this is very important, your Sketch-It video, or excuse me, your Sketch-It sketch is going to be linked back to this particular appraisal based on this file number here. So if you have a file number of 1122334455, then when you open up Sketch-It by going to Tools, and by the way, services are web-based, tools are local, and so Sketch-It is a local program. when you open up Sketch-It, it is going to open up and link to this particular file name. So if I were to come into this later on and you did a search, found this report, opened it up, and then opened up Sketch-It, it will have this sketch that I can sit there and I can actually modify it. Now, if I come in here and I change this to 6 instead of 5, that's going to break the link with that particular sketch. So if you ever have a sketch that you can't get rid of or you don't like, or you just want to start anew with the sketch, you can always advance that file number. Make sure you exit out of the field too. Now, let me pop open here into Sketch-It real quick. We'll go over a couple of things that I just want to reiterate. One of them is, remember when you're creating an area, by default, you're going to start on the first floor and it's going to post to 1. And this always corresponds to the floor. So if you did 2 floors on one sketch, the second one you would select second floor and that would post to 2. And you can do up to a third floor, that's going to post to 3. But what if you, let's say you're on the second floor. So I'm going to draw a second floor here. So give me just a second here. So we'll do 50 to the right. We'll do 30 down. And the quick shortcut, you can do a Control-C if you're within 1 line of completing the box. If you're within 2 lines, though, you can do a Control-K as in kilo, and it will complete the box for you automatically. So you only need 2 sides of it. So let's just pretend that this is our first floor. Excuse me, this is our second floor. And we need to do an open to below. So this is the second floor, but really only this area right here. It's like a loft, and that's all that really counts for the second floor. All of this is open to below, so it should not count as livable area. So what I can do is I can create a new area, use this pull down here, and let's see if I've got we're going to do non-calculated living area because I want to essentially remove it. I could also do negative here. So I'm going to do that. We're going to do negative because I want to remove it actively from the square footage. This is still going to be second floor, create. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my cursor here towards the corner, and I'm going to hit the J key on the keyboard. That's going to stand for jump, and that'll jump me right to the individual corner there. Now I'm not going to drop my pen here. I'm just going to do some measurements, and I know that the loft comes out 15 feet to the left. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to type in 15 on my keyboard. If you look down in the lower left-hand corner, you'll see it says distance to move 15 feet. And then I'm going to hit left for the direction, and it's going to jump my cursor in scale 15 feet to the left. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to drop my pen, and I'm going to go 30 feet down. But what I really actually need to do here is I need to complete this whole area so that it's going to be removed, okay? So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to simply move my cursor over here to this corner. There we go. We're going to go 30 feet up. And then what was it? 35 feet to the right. And now we have some competing, I can clean these up later, but I've got some competing measurements here. But what I've essentially done is I've opened this up to below because it is not going to be calculated as actual living area. The other thing I do want to show you is that you can enter your dimensions in either tenths of a foot, like ANSI says you should, or you can just do it in measurements, like that's how we measure. Because for whatever reason, this country won't embrace the metric system. So we have weird things like 1 foot is 12 inches instead of it being 10 inches. There's 100 centimeters to a meter. So what we're going to do is we're going to do create here. And let's say that this next floor that I'm going to be drawing, I'm going to drop my pen, is let's say 35 feet 8 inches. Instead of having to convert that into a decimal format, the program will do it for you. So I can do, and watch in the lower left-hand corner down there, 35, and then I'm going to use the foot marker, which is the apostrophe, and then I'm going to do 8, and then a quotation. So that kind of in our shorthand parlance means 35 feet 8 inches. And then I'm going to say over to the right, hit enter, and it automatically converts that to a decimal for me, because that is 35.7 feet, and that is ANSI standard. But once again, I do very much encourage you to watch that ANSI video. So you just go to youtube.com. In the search box, type in SFREP ANSI, ANSI, and you'll find the video, and that will kind of complete this for you. I would show it to you right now. I just don't have it queued up. I thought about that after the fact, and I don't have it on my laptop right now. But just go to youtube.com, search for SFREP ANSI, and it will show you how to do all the ANSI stuff in Sketch-It. Sketch-It is 100% fully ANSI compliant. The other thing I do want to tell you guys, we do have something in the works with Apex to bring a much more feature-rich sketching product to you guys. You can already get Apex with Appraise-It Pro, but they have some really cool things that they're working on right now, and we're working on a deal to be able to bring that stuff to you. So just stay tuned for that. Once again, I don't have any questions right now, which is good because that means that I'm explaining everything to you guys and guys don't have any questions. If you come up with a question later on after the fact, remember you can always use the link that was emailed to you, go back and rewatch this video, but you can also send an email to me, training@sfrep.com, and I will be happy to answer any questions that you might have. Also, real sorry about the audio issues there at the beginning. Hopefully, I don't think you missed anything earth-shattering that you needed to know. But you can also watch that video again if you would like by just going to YouTube and just searching for SFREP Sketch-It, and that's SKETCH-IT, and you'll find the video. I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your week. Happy Monday. And stay safe out there. I know that midweek in most of the country, temperatures are going to drop, so stay warm out there. And hope you guys have a great, safe, amazing week. Thanks a lot.